All right, so here we see the two fleets gathered in a moon around a gas giant. I'm just looking through in the bottom interface at the different ship types down below. And up here, we were looking through, again, the escorts, frigates, destroyers, and cruisers for each side. The ships in red are the Mortallons, and the ships in blue are the Ekdarians. So we're looking around at these two fleets gathered. And this is obviously a battle we set up. So we will have an Ekdarian cruiser. I think we're going to look at the quick design for this. This is later on, so you can see a lot more stuff filled in with components. It's got a pretty full feature set. You can see the Sentinel multi-beam defense. Those point defense shatter force beams are its main attacking full-length beams. It's got shields. It's got armor, some repair bots. You can look at these ships in the design screen pretty much from any angle and as close as you want. And as you put things on and off them, they'll change a bit in how they look. Now we're going to, I think, also look at the Mortallons. Here's a Mortallan cruiser. And you can see if you look at the bottom left too, that's 960 shields, 192 armor, and 100% hull. So they look a little bit tougher than some of the early game ships we were looking at. And these energy torpedoes go out to a range of 4,000. They're a lot stronger at close range. So here's the Mortallan cruiser in the design screen. You can see the hangar on top, and you can see now the component bay markers are on. And again, we're taking a quick look through the railguns, the heavy pulse torpedoes, the interceptor missiles. These are all open to your design. You can automate this. If you don't want to touch a ship design ever, you can fully automate this and it'll make you some good ship designs. If you want to customize your ships, you can. If you want to mix that, you can. It's totally up to you. And now they're going to start. Now the battle's going to start. Now you see this selected ship, there's a light blue circle and a light red circle. The light blue is the point defense range. The light red circle, they're semi-transparent, so they're a little hard to see. That's the main weapon range. Now we're clicking on some fighters and bombers. You see both some torpedoes launching out of the Mortallan fleet, some of the Ekdarian point defenses. This is the Sentinel multi-defense beams shooting out to try to shoot down some of the incoming Mortallan torpedoes. A Mortallan ship jumped behind the Ekdarian fleet to try to flank them. You're going to see the fighters and bombers from each side engaging, and the point defenses engaging the fighters and bombers, some of the torpedoes hitting. Those are the shatter force beams firing from that Ekdarian destroyer. You can see these little explosions in space. That's the dogfights and swirls of, fighters and bombers intercepting each other, shooting each other up. You can see the big beams firing out from the Ekdarian ships, a lot of the little point defense beams. The little you see these groups of four missiles heading out from the Mortallan ships. Those are their interceptor missiles firing out in volleys of four to intercept the Ekdarian fighters and bombers. The Ekdarian beams aren't really very interceptable. And we're taking a look now at, as the ships close, we're going to look a little closer. You can see some of the Mortallan fighters, interceptors just blew up an Ekdarian bomber. You're going to see a little bit more dogfighting happening here. Again, you can close in. You can look at this stuff really close. You can follow any of these ships. Some of the bombers have heavier fighter-sized weapons. They're good at stripping the enemy ship shields and even damaging them if enough of them pile on. Some of them are, really just meant for shooting, intercepting some of the enemy fired weapons or intercepting enemy bombers. Now, the Ekdarians had the advantage in this battle at long range, but as the ranges close, the Mortallan pulse torpedoes hit really hard, and you can see the Ekdarian destroyer has already taken significant damage here. And a lot of the Ekdarian ships, when things get closer, will start to have some trouble. In this case, the Mortallan ships are actually faster than them too, so I don't think they would be able to run away very quickly. Excuse me. And back here, I'm going to zoom in here. There are two Ekdarian frigates chasing this Mortallan destroyer. They've knocked its reactor offline, so it's really in tough shape. They're firing their impact assault blasters at it. You can see they've already taken out the armor and the shields. They're now just using their Sentinel beams to help with point defense while their impact assault blasters chew through the rest of the hull, which is effectively going to destroy this Mortallan ship. We've got one Ekdarian cruiser that's still fighting effectively. We've got a bunch of little side battles within the main battle here, with ships chasing each other, pulse torpedoes unloading at close range. The one Ekdarian cruiser in the center, I think, has taken a pretty good pounding from those Mortallan cruisers with close range torpedoes. So as I'm watching the battle, I'm selecting these different ships, and you can see me checking their components and their hull and shield situations. You can also control ships manually. I'm letting the AI handle this, but you can go into this battle and you can tell ships what to target and where to move if you so choose, if that's your thing. Just like in the game, you can also choose what components ships have. You can choose whether you're assigning certain admirals to command certain fleets, so on and so forth. And that's where we're going to stop with the battle for today, just to stay within our time limit.